Shalom, and welcome back to Bnei Noach Academy, Thoughts on the Torah. Please remember to hit the like button, to subscribe, and most importantly, to share this insight and inspiration with friends and family. So when you look at chapter 45, verse 4, 5, 6, what happens? Finally, Joseph revealed his true identity to his brothers. And they were all startled. You look in the beginning of 45, they were just frozen. They didn't know what to say. They couldn't move. They were at a total loss. And he says to them, don't worry, come close to me. Come, my brothers, don't worry. And then he encourages them instead of them encouraging him. Remember, he suffered for 22 years. He was a stranger in a foreign land. He was mistreated again and again. And all because of their hatred, all because of the fact that they sold him as a slave, their own brother. And what does he tell them? Look in verse 5. Now, do not be distressed because, or reproach yourself because you sold me here. No, it's not you. It was to save life that God has sent you, has sent me ahead of you. In other words, it's not your doing. It's God's doing. And therefore, I totally forgive you. I absolutely have no hatred in my heart towards you. This is the ultimate level of forgiveness. Not only do I say, okay, I'll forget the past, but I actually can understand it and explain why you're not really the culprit. You who did bad to me are not really the culprit. So it would seem from here that the Torah is professing that you have to forgive unconditionally. All time, anytime. Well, is that so? Is that really what the Torah is saying? So someone does something bad to you, they have absolutely no remorse whatsoever, and you should forgive them? Well, maybe at some level. But I think on a practical level, look what happened here. If you look at the end of chapter 44, throughout, what were they saying? Remember, they didn't know that Joseph understands their language because he intentionally set up an interpreter, who's really his own son, to translate to him what they were speaking in Hebrew to his, quote, Egyptian mother tongue, which obviously we know it wasn't. He understood very well what they were saying, and that's what he was looking for. He heard from them the absolute remorse that they had, how terrible they felt about what they've done. And they didn't feel that because they got caught, but they realized that everything that's happening is coming back to them. And this is all they're doing. The fact that they're dear, the fact that they have to deal with this, the fact that their father is going to have pain, the fact that they opened the door, they just felt so terrible about what they've done. They had true, deep, absolute remorse. Once Joseph heard that, now he was able to reveal his identity, and B, forgive them totally and absolutely, unconditionally. So yes, you need to have it in your heart to forgive, but the perpetrator needs to first have some remorse, has to at least express some regret for what they have done. Not like some quote-unquote religions profess that, you have to turn the other cheek, or you have to accept it and you have to forgive unconditionally. No, forgiveness is only to somebody who's already begun the process of remorse. Then you can step in and forgive them to hasten that process, to complete that process, to make that process whole. That part of the remorse that belongs to you, which is the forgiveness. But if they don't do that, then it's like putting water into a bowl and forgetting to put in the flour. You're not going to have dough. You can knead the water as much as you want, as many times as you please, but it's not going to turn into dough. You're not going to be able to put it into the oven and bake it. You need to have both ingredients come together in order to make a piece of bread.